How's it going, guys and girls? Axel Williams here, back with another video here today. Yes, back with another video today. I hope you're all doing alright. I hope you're all having a fantastic, smashing day. It's time to talk about something that has been confirmed. It's waiting in the wings. It's set for 2025. Yes, we are going to get, by all accounts, a new Star Wars trilogy. Now, obviously, we've had A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, we've had Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, we've had The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. We're now set to get another 3 Star Wars movies as a part of a new trilogy. No matter how closed off a story may feel, or no matter how clinical an ending may be, they will always find reason and find a separate storyline in order to make more movies. Now, we can look back at the prequels and so on. We can look back at the original 3. And we can probably say, with those movies, particularly, obviously, the prequels, that there is something to actually build upon. There is something to build on. There's a story to be told. There is a story to be told. With the prequels, there was a story to be told. It's obviously the journey of, you know, finding the Chosen One, who was Anakin Skywalker, and then basically building up to when he finally turns to the dark side in Revenge of the Sith and chooses his separate path. There's a story to be told. There's a movie that can actually be written logically, you know. And everybody was, I remember how fascinated I was. I remember how excited I was by the prequels and just, you know, thinking, oh, you know, this is it. This is how Anakin becomes Darth Vader. This is very exciting. And then obviously, back then though, back when movies were made then, you actually felt like Revenge of the Sith. I think a lot of people, all of you probably felt like Revenge of the Sith was going to be the final Star Wars. I honestly thought Revenge of the Sith was it. You know, you had A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and then you have obviously had the story from the start. But a lot of you would have definitely assumed that Revenge of the Sith was the final Star Wars movie. The story is finished, Revenge of the Sith, and, you know, if you look actually at it in proper order, Return of the Jedi, the Emperor gets thrown down the well at the end, and it's done. The galaxy has been saved. Everything has been complete. And I suppose when, in hindsight, when you look at it, Star Wars is such a big name, it's such a huge entity, maybe it was naive to think it was going to end like that. Or maybe naive to think that somebody wouldn't come along and continue the franchise. But with the new mainstream 3 Star Wars films, Force Awakens, Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, there is no room to even make films. The story has been told, and this is the thing again, that story has now been told. You know, the Rise of Skywalker, that was the final one of the modern 3, the modern mainstream 3 Star Wars films. And the story has been told from that viewpoint as well. So the story is now complete once again. And now somebody's come along and decided they're going to make another trilogy. Throwing more crappy storylines into the air, just farting up whatever they can just to make more money. You'll have a character that has backstory. Perhaps he knew Obi-Wan Kenobi, or perhaps he was an old apprentice of Qui-Gon Jinn. They will conjure up anything. They will conjure up anything just to carry this on. This is what I keep saying in these videos. What more is there to tell? What more of the story is there to tell? You remember in my last video about Halloween Aftermath? But like I said, they will bring out another Halloween film. And when they do, you'll probably be asking yourself, well, what more can they do? You know, Michael Myers was dead. And it's the same with the Star Wars movies. If they do another Star Wars trilogy, what are they going to do? What is the point in tarnishing a great name? Star Wars is a great name. Star Wars is arguably perhaps not the greatest movie franchise of all time in terms of individual films, perhaps not the best in terms of individual films, but certainly for me the most iconic movie franchise of all time. I don't think there's a movie franchise out there that's more iconic than Star Wars. Maybe you guys and girls might disagree. You might actually sit there and think, well, actually I prefer this, or this is actually bigger, this is better. Whatever you might think, for me Star Wars is the most iconic movie franchise there is. But irrespective of that, what more can you do with the Star Wars name? What more can you do in terms of movies with the Star Wars brand? And by making saga after saga after saga, you know, and just coming up with these new ridiculous films and new ridiculous storylines that they've literally just farted out of thin air, it just tarnishes and destroys the legacy of a once iconic franchise. And obviously it's still iconic, but it's losing a bit of that gold dust factor, if you know what I mean. It's Star Wars is kind of sacred, it's special, it's unique, it's legendary. And all they're doing now is using that to make more movies, because those two together are going to make a lot of money. And it's ridiculous. They're also doing a film based on Rey, who was obviously the main character in the new Star Wars movies as well, played by Daisy Ridley. Now, I need to take a deep breath here. But her character was shocking. I thought her character was terrible. I really did. And I'm not going to be watching a movie about her. And I'm certainly not going to be watching a droid story. I would rather watch a movie about Jar Jar Binks. It feels like he's got more depth to him than a droid. And that's probably true. Would you rather see a droid story or a Jar Jar story? I suppose, if I'm tailing off a bit here, I'd probably rather see a droid story just because Jar Jar Binks would do my head in after 5 seconds. But what is it becoming? What is Star Wars becoming? I know what it's becoming. It's becoming a money-making machine, and it's literally becoming their primary motive is to make as much money as possible. The reputation of the Star Wars franchise, the reputation of these movies has no bearing in comparison to how much money they can make. That's why you keep seeing all these spin-offs about Lando Calrissian, Rey, Obi-Wan Kenobi, a droid story for Pete's sake. I mean, I still can't get over that. The cash cow is being milked, and is being milked dry. But like I said, this trilogy, pointless. Stupid, ridiculous, and sinful. It really is sinful. Any diehard Star Wars fans out there cannot be happy about this. You cannot be happy about this. I'd like to hear in the comments what you guys and girls think, but you cannot be happy about this. The fact that they are tarnishing and destroying, dismantling the Star Wars name, thanks to, just basically down to greed, just thanks to greed. Greed is doing this. What is it going to be about? That's the biggest point. You know, you could even argue, and I will argue this, to be fair, because it's pretty much coming under the same thing. The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker were just farted out of thin air. The storylines, the characters, you know, the plot of the actual individual films is just farted out of thin air because the story's already been told. Return of the Jedi had an ending. It was a clinical ending. It's finished. It's done. They shouldn't exist. All 3 of those films should not exist. They have no right in existing. The Star Wars story has been told. And it's the same thing that's happening now with this modern day trilogy that's going to be coming out in 2025. At least they're going to be starting in 2025. I think it's going to go on to 2027 or 2028 from what I've read. But it's pointless. It really is pointless. Like I said, they're just creating stories out of thin air. That's all they're doing now, and that's the most disappointing thing. That is the most disappointing thing, is that they're just creating stories out of thin air. And it's wrong. It is so wrong. They shouldn't be doing it. They should not be doing it, but like I said, I've said it in so many videos, it's the way it is now. It's the way it is now. These franchises will never end. They will never end. Despite the fact that these films, in my view, shouldn't exist, we probably thought The Rise of Skywalker, again, had a clinical ending. It's done. Once again. For a second time, it's done. But now, they're going to be releasing another 3 mainstream Star Wars films to carry on in another trilogy. But that's the way it is. Like I said, it's the time we live in now. It's 2024, and this has been going on for a few years now. This is just literally the way it is. It is the way it is. This is how cinema is now. This is how movies are now. This is how production companies work, and directors and writers and stuff like that. Big companies, I don't care about reputations of films. I don't care that they might be damaging a product. As long as they're making shit tons of cash, that's all they care about. And that's the same for each and every big name franchise now. And it will forever be that way for me. I don't think it will change. But guys and girls, love to hear your thoughts. Another Star Wars trilogy is set to emerge and begin in 2025. Give me your take. Are you looking forward to it? Do you condemn it like I do? Do you hate it? But if you don't, if you actually are looking forward to it, let me know whatever your thoughts are in the comments. Guys and girls, thanks so much for watching this video. I'll be back very shortly with another one. Subscribe to the channel and like the video, please. Just do it for me. Just please. Think of me sitting here, hurting my spinal column to make videos. Anyway, thank you so much, guys and girls. I will see you very shortly for another video. Take care. Bye-bye for now.